Good evening. Welcome to the second edition of News Tonight. My name is Micheal Lukomwa. Elizabeth Nakakoni will be on your screen in just a few seconds. Let's start right away with what we have for you this evening. President Yoweri Museveni has dismissed KCCA Executive Director Dorothy Chisaka. It follows an IGG report on what caused the Kitezi landfill disaster that happened in August. The president had directed an investigation into the disaster that claimed over 50 lives, injuring others and destroying property. In a two-paged document, President Museveni also relieved the Deputy Executive Director, Engineer David Luyimbazi, and Director of Public Health, Dr. Daniel Okello.
In a decisive response to the findings of the Inspector General of Government IGG report concerning the Kitezi landfill disaster, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda has exercised his constitutional authority and Article 172(1)(a) of the 1995 Constitution to dismiss several key officials of the Kampala Capital City Authority KCCA in the public interest due to significant evidence of criminal negligence. The President has dismissed the following KCCA officials: Mrs. Dorothy Chisaka, Executive Director; Engineer David Luyimbazi, the Deputy Executive Director; Dr. Daniel Okello, the Director of Public Health. The IGG's report clearly outlined the severe oversight and negligence exhibited by these officials. In light of these findings, the President has called upon the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, and other crime management agencies to thoroughly investigate the matter further, focusing on the angle of criminal negligence associated with this distressing event. To ensure a swift transition in leadership, the President has directed the Public Service Commission to advertise the positions of the Executive Director, Deputy Executive Director, the Director of Public Health, with a goal of appointing new officials within 3 months. Additionally, the Minister for Kampala is tasked with advising the President on interim appointments for these crucial positions to ensure that operations within KCCA continue without disruption until permanent replacements are in place. The President remains committed to upholding accountability and maintaining the highest standards of governance for the benefit of all citizens.
Members of Parliament have expressed mixed reactions following the dismissal of the top officials at Kampala Capital City Authority. While some MPs praised the decision of as necessary for accountability and governance, others voiced concerns about the implications for stability and leadership within the authority.
He was not satisfied with what was taking place in Kitezi. He noted some few points that KCC officials for a long time have been negligent in what they are doing. He said that they did not allow people to settle. They wouldn't have allowed people to settle near that landfill by 2005, which they did. That they did not respect the gradient of the pile of the waste without observing, apparently, the scientific practice of the recommended safe slope. So that means the mountain was too high. So it was not safe for the people. They did not compact the waste management with Mara. And for them, they claimed that they were doing so. And we had a standby vehicle there, which was doing that, mixing Mara, and which was not done. And they did not listen to the alarm of the concerned officer and taking emergency measures. Corruptly spending 7 billion hiring earth-moving equipment instead of spending 3 billion to buy their own, because they've been just hiring that machine. Going against NEMA directives to only dump the waste at Katikolo and continuing to dump waste at Kitezi by private concessionaires. Then he said the 3 officers should leave. That is Madame Dorothy Chisaka, the Executive Director, the Deputy Executive Director, Engineer Luyimbazi, who moreover is an engineer, could not see that that slope of the pile were dangerous slip. So they were dangerously steep because it was too high. Then the director of public health would advise as a director for public health. So he said, given the powers to the president by the year 1995, he requests the CID and other crime management agencies to look at the angle of criminal negligence. So that means they have questions to answer.
In the eyes of the public, I think the decision is the right decision because the public expected action to be taken. They attributed the Kitezi disaster to negligence and, of course, incompetence. So, on that account, I think Ugandans should commend the president for taking action quickly, and the fact that he had to commission an investigation so that he acts on the findings.
President for having realized this and having fired Madam Chisaka and the Director for Health and the Deputy Director, but also call upon him to ensure that the people who are to replace these very people are competent.
CA as an institution, they were handicapped. They could not do anything. They could only wish well. How much can you do without money? The person who was supposed to release money into that institution never did his work. However, the blame is now borne onto the people who were in the place, in the very first place.
We have been giving the city management so much money in billions to construct markets, to do roads, to clean up the city, but everything has been in a mess for the last 4.5 years. So I think that action which has been taken by the executive to put on hold the leadership of Madam Dorothy Kisaka and her some few colleagues is something which is on point from government.
Kampala's Lord Mayor Elias Lukago has also applauded President Yoweri Museveni's decision to dismiss those responsible for the Kitezi landfill disaster from office. However, he is calling for further investigations and prosecution of all implicated individuals.
I'm glad I'm vindicated. A decision has been taken, though it has come a little late, because a lot of water has gone down the bridge since 10th of August when the incident happened. It's not enough to have these people interdicted. There must be prosecution of those who are culpable, particularly those who were responsible for squandering 4.1 billion annual allocation towards maintenance of Kitezi. Because that nefarious and criminal conduct invites sanctions, legal sanctions. It's the reason we are demanding for prosecution against those particular individuals. It's the reason we are demanding that the IGG must make the report public. It has to be known. What are the findings? Who did what or who failed to do what? Who slept on the job? Who squandered the money? Generally, who is responsible for the catastrophe, the disaster that claimed lives of many innocent Ugandans? The IGG ought to explain to us in detail what is contained in that report. I had a meeting with at State Hall. There was a meeting. There was a meeting before Kadaga. Kadaga had called for a meeting. After that meeting, the team came to State Hall, involving the Minister for Kampala, the State Minister, the then Acting Director, Engineer Luyimbazi, the then Director Public Health, Okero, and other directors. They were all there together with my second members. We sat in a crisis meeting this afternoon to resolve to deal with some of these issues, especially in regards to the fraud there is in the procurement of land for the alternative dump site. Details of what we need to do will be given out to you tomorrow at a press conference, and also the actions we are going to take going forward. So tomorrow at 10 a.m. we have a press conference to roll out the program of action we are going to take in the wake of the new developments, where you have 3 senior managers at Stay Hall interdicted, and also all these issues attendant to what has happened.
UBC News tonight. We continue with more of our stories in this evening's bulletin. The President's actions follows investigation by the Inspectorate of Government into the Executive Director's office and her deputy David Liyimbazi and Director for Public Health Dr. Daniel Okero. The Chiteze landfill disaster, which occurred on the August 10th, resulted in over 50 fatalities and significant property damage. First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has welcomed and congratulated Dr. Kedris Turyagenda on her appointment by the President as the new Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Education and Sports. Mrs. Museveni received the new Permanent Secretary while chairing a special top management meeting for the ministry at State House, Nakasero.
In her welcoming remarks, Mrs. Museveni briefed the new Permanent Secretary on current ministry affairs. She noted that the academic year has been relatively peaceful despite a few challenges in health, and urged the Education Ministry top management to remain vigilant and monitor schools to ensure a safe learning environment for students. She expressed gratitude for the victories in sports, both nationally and internationally, including the Olympics and FIESA Games, and it's through this meeting that a moment of silence in memory of Rebecca Cheptegei, one of Uganda's Olympians who recently died due to domestic violence, was observed. She thanked Dr. Egao for her contributions over the past month and expressed confidence that Dr. Turyagenda and Dr. Egao would work well together. Dr. Jane Egao, the Undersecretary in the Ministry of Education and Sports, who had been acting as Permanent Secretary and Accounting Officer for 1 month, since August 16, 2024, thanked the First Lady for entrusting her with this high office during the transition period. She expressed gratitude to the Ministers of State and all staff and stakeholders for their support. Dr. Egao welcomed Dr. Kedris Turyagenda back to the Ministry of Education and Sports top management and congratulated her on her appointment as Permanent Secretary. The incoming Permanent Secretary, Dr. Kedris Turyagenda, expressed appreciation to the President for the opportunity to serve in this capacity. She also thanked the First Lady and Minister of Education for welcoming her back and the Head of Public Service for facilitating her return to service. She expressed gratitude to all her colleagues and supervisors over the past 42 years since completing university, acknowledging their contributions to her growth and performance.
I want to congratulate you and welcome you to the sector.
Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
Parliament has declined to treat the statements of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba as a formal government position. The House considers the statements as an individual opinion of the General, but not the Commander of the Defense Forces.
For the past few days, the first son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, has utilized his social media handle to communicate what the public highly described as a guidance on his way forward to run for the presidency come 2026. General Muhoozi gathered active political support from a section of both government officials and the general public. This even led to a creation of a formal organization dubbed the Patriotic League of Uganda, PLOU.
The chief guest.
With the Electoral Commission calendar ticking to the 2026, the Foster General took to his X handle and denounced his earlier intentions to be among the presidential candidates. The first son later urged the members of the PLU who had interest in active politics to subscribe to the NRM led by his father, President Yoweri Museveni.
I have come to tell you in advance.
Some of these statements made by General Muhoozi are what a section of legislators brought to the attention of the August House, chaired by the Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa.
These two issues go against the core principles of this constitution.
Kira Municipality MP Semujunganda asked the House to summon the Minister of Defense and Internal Affairs to explain the legality of the statements.
We all took the same oath and made an undertaking: we shall protect the Constitution.
The Deputy Attorney General Jackson Kafuzi answered that the statements of the first son were opinions that cannot be put on government.
Being a military man does not put you outside the ambit of Chapter 4 of the Constitution. You retain the right to express yourself. You retain the right to form an opinion.
This triggered mixed reactions on the interpretation of the existing laws.
And the Attorney General comes and defends that kind of conduct as part of the freedoms of expression and opinion, well knowing that some freedoms are subject to the law.
Just sorry for interruption, Honorable Nwagaba. Some of us who are not in social media and all that. Where are these statements?
There is a formal way government officers communicate for that to be an official communication of government. For instance, I speak for government, but I cannot just be at a party and we are conversing, and then you take my conversation to be government policy and so forth.
Some of the MPs cited past court judgments which set precedence on personal opinions.
I thought, with your guidance, that the right way of dealing with this would be to refer the matter to an investigation, irrespective of who is involved, because it is about our life, it is about the safety of everybody in this country.
The arguments backslide with the position of the Command of Defense Forces.
That when you say that you have a method of communication as government, and one of your government officials goes out of the method of communication, it becomes illegal.
A famous PLU leader, David Kabanda, later informed the House that the statements in question were not available on the X handle of General Muhoozi.
And it is not there. So why should we really waste our time?
After hours, the Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa guided that the Ministry of Defense and Internal Affairs utilizes its regulations if the CDF was caught offside.
So I don't want Parliament to turn itself into an investigative body where before the institution can utilize its own mechanisms in case there was a problem.
The debate also resurrected the previous censure motion to remove the 4 backbench commissioners of Parliament, as the movers showed dissatisfaction over how the matter was handled by the House.
I said it borders incompetence, I said it borders sabotage, it borders demotivation.
You know, words don't kill. Hey, words don't kill. Me calling me anything, you get it, I lose nothing.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Minister for Information and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Bariomunsi, has said that government is coming up with the policy to regulate use of ICT among the public as one way to guide the public. He says government has to improve on the economy through use of ICT, which calls for strengthening and improvement of internet connectivity across the country.
Bariomunsi was officiating the 28th Annual International Management Conference on the theme Artificial Intelligence and the Knowledge Society, the Future of Business in Africa.
National backbone infrastructure, i.e. the optical
fiber to the rest of the country so that we have connectivity from corner to corner. We hope to implement it with other technologies, including satellite technology and other modern technologies, so that whether you are in Karamoja, or whether you are in southwestern Uganda, whether you are in West Nile, you should be able to use technology to do your transactions.
The Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Makerere University, Professor Buyinza Mukandasi, said that they have put much emphasis on research based on using IT, and the findings are put on the internet platforms for the public to view.
This is very important because artificial intelligence is shaping the business of our lives, and also the academic affairs are being influenced by automation. Therefore, it is important that we embrace artificial intelligence in research and the academic teaching activities of the...
The acting principal of Makerere University Business School, Professor Moses Muhwezi, noted that the conference has provided a forum for the interaction of different ideas in business and management between the academians, government and the peer.
Business school is here to do research, present research that is practical, and it's our intention that we link with the public, the private sector, will create research, create we have recommendations that can work, that can solve problems out there.
The head of Department Information Systems, Dr. John Kase, said they have equipped learners with necessary skills in IT that could enable them excel in business and management.
So we are enabling the young people to do research, explore, and then bring solutions that impact the community, impact the society, while leveraging on the latest technologies.
Activity of water, and then you have this stability sensor that measures the contamination of water, whether water is dirty or clean. And another...
Irene Faith Nantongo, Richard Chirembeka, UBC News.
The Director for Research, Nabwin Zone Agricultural Research and Development Institute, Dr. Walter Odongo, has called for government support for a water source to support research work and to set up an agricultural skilling point for the youth. The institute does agricultural research on crop, animal and natural resources and promotes agricultural technologies, products and services which it recommends for adaptation in Karamoja and Teso sub-regions.
Nabwin Zonal Agriculture Research and Development Institute is one of the 16 public agriculture research organizations which is in charge of conducting agricultural research, especially on crop, animal and natural resources, and promoting agricultural technologies, products and services recommended for adoption in Karamoja and Teso sub-region. The head of the program, Crop Resources at the Institute, Dr. Anthony Raphael Ijala, told UBC the Institute promotes agricultural technologies like sorghum, millet, beans, soya, green gram, groundnuts, and many more.
The seed pit maturing, which address the issues of Karamoja. They need very little water, and you are able to harvest. This is a green gram, narrow gram too, and this in 60 days you can harvest and stock 4, and then this is a narrow sub 2. So we're promoting this for Karamoja because the birds don't like it. It's not preferred by the birds. Okay. And then within 70 days it's ready for harvest.
Also promote the growing of perennial crops.
The grapes is something new we're introducing to Karamoja, and this is to capture the winery, the wine industry in Karamoja. And
the head of the program for animal resources, Dr. Rogers Azabo, explains the animal husbandry undertakings.
Agriculture, that is the keeping of bees. We have aquaculture, fish, then we have the livestock itself.
Despite all this, the Institute has water-related challenges which affect research work.
Borehole and about a 20,000 litre reservoir tank, which is not enough to sustain our activities.
The Director of Research at Nabuin Zonal Agriculture Research and Development Institute, Dr. Walter Odong, says the ZADI needs a valley tank and water reservoir to support research work.
But also we're looking at a reservoir, a bigger reservoir, maybe with 100,000 100,000 liters of water as a reservoir to supply and provide for the irrigation requirements of the institute. But also, related to the irrigation, we are also looking at rehabilitating and establishing a complete irrigation system in all our fields. This will support water for animals, for drinking, but also water for production.
The post-harvest is critical in the two regions, which requires the establishment of silos.
Investments into grain handling facility. We're looking at a silo or a set of silos that can help us to do both grain handling but also seed processing, actually seed production. This way we are able to extend our intervention, which we have stimulated local seed businesses within the region, but this youth and women who are doing the local seed business requires the value chain to be complete. And that
the Institute also needs support to start agriculture skilling center to transform youth through apiary, animal production and vegetable production.
Honey, for instance, from making the hives, the beehives, to processing the honey into different products, including propolis, including the honey, including the bee wax or bee venom. So a complete value chain of honey, for instance. But also we're looking at skills in animal production, particularly pasture grass production and management of animals, disease surveillance, including treatment. We're also looking at skills in vegetable production.
Irene Faith Nantongo, Maureen Yiga, UBC News.
A skilling unit.
With need to enhance justice and reduce case backlog, World Voice Uganda has expressed the need to embrace customary informal justice systems in handling some cases. It prompted World Voices Uganda to organize a two-day conference to discuss how the justice system can embrace the system in handling cases. The conference, graced by the head Civil Division Justice Musa Sekana, was on the theme Strengthen the Linkages between informal and formal justice systems, rethinking policy and practices in amplifying access to justice for all.
It can improve access to justice by officially recognizing customary courts. We can expand access to justice for people in rural and undeserved areas who may not otherwise have means to engage with the formal courts. It can enhance legitimacy. Recognition can strengthen the legitimacy of the whole entire justice system. And I'm sure we'll hear from those outside the formal justice system.
In Uganda in particular, the Constitution implores the administration of justice to be anchored and premised on the aspirations, norms and values of the people of Uganda. This is a core principle expected to guide the administration of justice and exercise the judicial authority. Alternative justice system strategy for the judiciary has been developed to take a broader perspective of justice, including traditional, informal and other dispute resolution forms in Uganda. Strategic Blueprint of Judiciary Strategic Plan 5, 2021-2025.
It's the nature. Because see, when you look at the infrastructure of and the makeup of the formal justice system, it is structured in nature. Yeah, you have to have filing fees. Yeah, you have to hire a lawyer if you have to be defended. So and a case that should have handled within 72 hours is going to be handled for the next 10 years. The most important is how do we ensure that we harness opportunities that are available within the active, because at the end of the day we want to ensure that it's just for all. So what do we need to ensure that actually achieve that milestone?
Conservationists have raised concern over the rampant poaching activities at Murchison Falls National Park. During the Wildlife Ranger Challenge, it was discovered that hippos are the most targeted wildlife, leading to a 70% decline in their population.
Traps including motorcycles and bicycles are impounded from poachers at Murchison Falls National Park annually.
These wire snares here, it was big, up to the other side there. So what we did, because now there is nowhere you can put them. So they have to plant, we planted down here on the foundation more than 10,000.
This indicates that poaching driven by unemployment and poverty among poachers in the park is on the rise.
Once they kill a hippo, they can get much money than other small animals. And then hippo also, they move mostly at night, near to the community. You can see we are staying near the communities.
Yeah, I mean, hippo is one kill, a lot of meat, not a profit. It's devastating for the country. You've got to remember that this is your country, not that one person's country. Your meaning all of you, across the whole country.
Conservationists say hippos are the most targeted wildlife, with their population declining by 70%, although it was refuted by Uganda Wildlife Authority.
This place used to have a lot of hippo here, but some of them were poached.
Do you have the statistics of hippos that are lost in this park every year?
For now, yeah, 60–70%. You go to the hippo pool tomorrow where we finish the race. There's no hippo in the hippo pool.
This hippo pool we are talking about is not a zoo. The hippos move, okay? They range freely in the waters. But if you look at the vegetation around, there's no grass that the hippos will come to eat, because hippos are grazers. They don't eat these shrubs.
Uganda Conservation Foundation, supported by Tusk, recently held the Wildlife Ranger Challenge to mobilize funds for capacity building among rangers.
Some of the money, which is fundraised through this exercise, the Ranger Challenge, we construct ranger outposts. Like last year, we had the Delta. The other time, we had the Mopina. Part of the money from this exercise.
They may contribute money, and I buy a new marine boat. Therefore, I'm increasing the marine dominance on the marine area, on the waters. Not only that, it may increase my patrol frequency.
The Wildlife Ranger Challenge attracted rangers from all the parks in the country, and Kidepo National Park emerged champions for the fourth time.
We learned on how to overpower our opponents. We studied their strengths and their weaknesses. We know also our strengths and our weaknesses. Me as a team captain, I know my weaknesses. Maybe I might not be good in walking, I can be good in trotting. That's why most of the time I tell my teammates, let's trot.
Kibale National Park, which came second, was optimistic about winning the trophy next time after Kidepo's captain officially announced his retirement.
I've built a team behind me, and I believe that they can take Kidepo to the next level. Filling my gap will not make them fail.
Yeah, that is our walkover now. When he retires like this, so that will be our advantage, because this time around we have been the second people, but so the next edition we are going to be first.
During the 5th Wildlife Ranger Challenge at Murchison Falls National Park, teams competed in a coordinated 21-kilometer half marathon carrying 22 kilograms of a kit. Oko Joseph, UBC.
The country representative, United Nations High Commission for Refugee, Matthew Cranstill, has announced how there is still need for donor support in the water and sanitation sector in the refugee camps. This was during the signing and receiving of a $2.5 million humanitarian assistance from the Austrian Development Agency for water supply among the West Nile refugee camps.
The Austrian government, through the Austrian Development Agency, has donated a $2.5 million humanitarian assistance to be utilized by UNHCR to fill gaps in sanitation and hygiene in refugee settlements.
All in all, we see this project as a catalyst for not only restoring their lives, but also for restoring their dignity. It certainly is an approach that underscores the importance of the refugees' self-reliance.
UNHCR country representative received the donation but says with the increasing numbers of refugees coming in the country, the organization still need assistance.
And as we speak now, we've had a declaration of an internal level 2 emergency for Sudanese refugee situation here in Uganda. And this was announced only yesterday. And this will enable us to avail of resources that we were previously unable to get to beef up the assistance provided in Kiriagongo. Yes.
The fund will extend assistance for 2 years in West Nile refugee camps in providing clean water.
Thanks to the response that we are receiving, we are able to at least sustain ourselves up to the end of the year and hopefully beyond that.
Lydia Chomkama and Juma Samba, UBC News.
The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, that's EGAT, experts on peace, democracy and human rights are calling upon member states to sustainably involve the youth in shaping the political space of the region. The remarks were made during the annual EGAT Governance Forum experience sharing meeting in governance, elections and rule of law and human rights in Kampala.
More than 30 political and human rights experts have converged to discuss on public policy issues relating to governance, election, rule of law and human rights. The IGAD head of mission in Uganda, Jocelyn Bijira, says that the 3-day meeting will focus on the critical questions about peace building and improving democracy, and also regional efforts that match national and local needs.
Different member states are at different levels. Some have very strong governance systems. Some are trying to put in place governance systems and learning. And therefore, when we meet here, we get those that are trying to develop their governance systems, their election monitoring systems, to learn from those that have already well-established system. And I would like to encourage us, because we know that each of the member states have got their sovereign rights. But we know that it is through IGAT that we can be able to learn from one another and grow.
Elections period in most countries is the time when the issue of governance is put to the test. For Uganda, this experience sharing meeting, therefore, is timely, given the fact that our election cycle is beginning to build steam as we move towards the 2026 general elections. The meeting is taking on a holistic approach, including special interest groups such as the youth and women.
Some of the political and human rights experts from the IGAD region emphasize the need to involve youths in the political arena.
There is a matter of fragility in terms of institutions and institutional building for countries emerging out of conflict or countries that are building up from ashes of conflict. But the way we operate in IGAD is that the IGAD agreement established in 1996 talks about the equality of member states. So in terms of whether member states collectively see themselves in better position than others, what matters is that under IGAD they are all equal member states, there is equal votes. However, those who needs a little bit more attention, the Secretariat makes sure that we create programs that promotes institutional building and strengthening of national institutions.
Already agreeing to work on the issue of refugees, migration and climate change is a big step. What we hope to do going forward is to make our voices heard together, is when we make, for example, humanitarian appeal for during natural disasters, doing it as a collective would be more effective than doing it individually.
This IGAD region, it's one of the regions that has the highest number of youth that are coming up. Majority of our populations, if you study across the countries, they're relatively young people. The highest level of unemployment among our youth is what is bringing out the conflict.
Political Affairs Program was established in IGAD's Peace and Security Division in 2008 through contributing to peace and security in the IGAD region to facilitate the harmonization of member states' policies on democracy, management and elections. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Omwoleso gaggadde ogutumiddwa East Africa UK Tourism and Cultural Expo 2024 guguno nga gakubeerawo ennaku z'omwezi 8 n'ennaku z'omwezi 9 omwezi gwa Novemba 2024 wansi w'omulamwa okuwagira ebyobulambuzi ng'engeri y'okutumbula obumu n'enkulaakulana awo ku WTM London ku Rome Brand Hotel 11th PI South Kensington London SW7 2RS United Kingdom. Tickets abasuubuzi mukyasasula £100 ate abaneetaba mu mwoleso bakyasasula £300 okumanya ebisinga okuba ku simu kasaraba 256 787 096 00 oba kasaraba 254 795 806 969 kyali ya www.eaukTourismExpo.com okwewandiisa.
The Chief Coordinator, Operation Wealth Creation, General Salim Saleh, and Namunkekera Agro-Processing Industries Limited, NAPIL, invite you to the Namunkekera Liaoshen Industrial Park Trade Show and Bazaar, celebrating local and foreign investment. This Friday 27th and this Saturday 28th September 2024 at Kapeka Industrial Park, starting at 9 a.m. Entrance is free. Guests of honor are His Excellency the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the State Minister for Finance for Investment and Privatization, Honorable Evelyn Anite. Are you a business person, school, or consumer of authentic Ugandan products? Don't miss this chance for incredible discounts on premium items like ceramic tiles, electricals, garments, shoes, bags, TVs, agricultural tools, dried mangoes and pineapples. Don't miss performances by Dr. Jose Chameleon and many more. Would you like to exhibit? Call 0783 293 348 or 0757 896 914. Proudly brought to you by Operation Wealth Creation, Uganda Development Corporation, Private Sector Foundation Uganda, Casita, Uganda Manufacturers Association, Uganda National Bureau of Standards, UBC TV, and Uganda Investments Authority.
UBC News Tonight. Thank you so much for watching. In more news, The youth have been encouraged to promote unity and take every opportunity that comes their way. This was in a message by Frank Mutalaga at Chuoko Catholic Parish in Luwera.
Nkozesa abavubuka okuva mu bitundu ebyenjawulo mbadde ndi awo omwana asikumira ka message. Mukulu Mutalaga, thank you so much. I've been summoned to join the Sekafa Uganda Cranes team under 20. Thank you, sir. Santos.
Mutalaga also stressed the importance of respecting parents and family elders as a way of receiving blessings. He went on to criticize modern parenting practices, which he believes have led to the rise of immature and culturally disconnected adults.
Nalabanga buli kinakolanga mama wange ng'agamba Frank webale nnyo webali eddala Mukama Katonda akumpeera omukisa. Abazadde mukyebaza ku baana bammwe mu ngeri y'okubawa omukisa. Bw'akola obulungi ekigambo ekyo mukyogera. Kitange omwana yakulemberanga bano mu top 10 ng'akwata engege n'atusuubiza ekitwe. N'agamba yenna akulembedde tugenda kumuwa ekitwe ky'engege. Omwana ava wansi.
Father Tony Liazi, the day's mass celebrant, echoed these sentiments, warning that the 21st century will be difficult for youth who are lazy, undisciplined and uneducated. He urged young people to invest in their personal development to attract divine blessings, which do not come without effort.
Ense yokya. Ense sobola kunyiga, ense sobola kutuusa ku kisenge. Buli musajja akwagalako akulekawo. Oli mu munaana kati. Tekuli alaga kabonero nti akutwala.
Chuoko Catholic Parish Priest Father Lukwago John added that success requires a clear vision, which must be cultivated early in life. He also cautioned men against being irresponsible fathers and urged women not to abandon their children.
Abavubuka ebyange byebyo. Kyonobeera mu maaso emyaka 5 kati tukole nnyo. Abavubuka tukole ki? Tukole nnyo. Ate mbere mukole ebibiina. Mubere mu groups, mubere saving group.
Youth Chaplain Father Francis Luboneza advised the youth to prioritize essential life projects and avoid drug use, which can hinder their future.
Amakulu tugawe obulamu bwaffe. Amakulu gawe soko gateeke ku family yo. Omuvubuka n'obeerawo nenga ne family yo yeebuuza oba tulina omwami oba tulina maama.
Nakaseke District Woman Member of Parliament Sarah Najuma encouraged the youth to prioritize their health by knowing their HIV status.
Abamu muli wanaite minor status zammwe oba oli positive oba oli negative. Bw'odde ngoga ffe twafadda obulamu bwo n'obutwala twafadda.
In support of the youth, Frank Mutalaga donated 100 plastic chairs for the youth project, while MP Sarah Najuma contributed 1 million Uganda shillings.
Direct Aid Uganda has donated over 150 tons of relief food valued at 600 million to refugees at Panyadoli settlement in Kiriandongo district. On behalf of the government of Uganda, the relief was handed over by the country director of Direct Aid Uganda, as we see in these details.
Alex Omeja, Deputy Settlement Commandant of Chiriandongo, expressed gratitude to both Direct Aid Uganda and the government of Kuwait for the donation, noting its importance in supporting refugee welfare. The refugee chairperson, Mary Nancy Lagu, stated that it would significantly improve the livelihoods of the targeted beneficiaries.
And on an average at Chiriandongo, we are receiving approximately 250 to 300 people a day. And all these people, they come when they do not have anything. And most importantly, we do not have food. Well aware of the shortage of food currently by WFP, that is World Food Program, the support that has been provided worldwide to WFP has dwindled. And therefore this now calls for outsourcing support.
that Uganda currently hosts estimated 1.7 million refugees with over 100 daily new arrivals from Sudan.
You know that since the crisis started in Sudan, the Sudanese brothers and sisters, they were coming in very big numbers in Uganda. And here we thank Uganda, the government and the people of Uganda for hosting them and giving them the services.
The country director of Direct Aid Uganda reaffirmed their commitment to supporting Uganda. Each of the 12,700 food boxes contains 15 kilograms of maize flour, 5 kilograms of sugar, 10 kilograms of rice, 8 kilograms of beans, 1 kilogram of salt, 3 liters of vegetable cooking oil, 2 kilograms of powdered milk, and 8 kilograms of wheat flour. Patrick Mugerwa compiled this report.
Residents of Busega in Chigwanya Ward, Rubaga Division, Kampala, have appealed to President Museveni to come to their rescue since they were evicted from their premises with no compensation. They say they've reached out to whom it may concern in all forms to no rescue.
On October 7, 2022, residents of Busega near the new Busega market were shocked after law enforcement agencies including KCCA, the local government and other law enforcement demolished their houses and business structures. The demolition was to ensure compliance with market regulations. Residents said they were not compensated for the eviction. With this, they have appealed to President Museveni to intervene.
Oberengo oyingira mu nsonga zaffe naffe tufuna obweganya muzeeyi abantu banyiivu ate ng'ekintu ekibanyiiza kitono nnyo ate ng'oluusi obimu tobimanyi muzeeyi.
UBC TV reached at the alien question and the construction was ongoing. However, some residents shed a tear. Properties including houses, businesses, livestock and other items were among the items destroyed.
Amayumba gaffe baagamenya tetulina we tubeera ebintu byaffe nabina baabyonoona
kayine mu rooms z'abapangisa 8 nibone yanjye rooms zanjye zinamindamu n'abaana banje konka omutima mugunduma munonga okureba ibintu byanje byona bikasisikara byahendeka sitikansoni yabihenzere.
Kabuye Pius Mukasa, the chairperson of the area, said over 40 residents have sought help from various offices, but all in vain.
For justice for these 47 has fallen on the deaf ear. It's my humble request to the President of Uganda that these are your citizens. These are Wananchi you promised to protect upon capturing power. It's my humble request that you create a justifiable solution, as these residents were unfairly treated, and justice should prevail in this circumstance.
Mike Bakablindi, Rebecca Nantongo for UBC News.
Rotary District 9213 and Help Africa have teamed up with the Uganda Communications Commission to highlight local talent in the Ugandan film industry. Their latest project of the film is the film I Am Much More, has made history by being chosen for its world premiere at the 2024 Marbella International Film Festival in Spain.
The Ugandan film I Am Much More is one of the few selected from 600 films that applied for the 2024 Marbella International Film Festival. The characters in the film are children from some of the families in Katanga, a Kampala slum, who receive education support from Help Africa, a partner of Rotary District 9213.
We find them sponsors all over the world, then we take them to school and we give them basic necessities while they are going to school so that they can be able to be like other children.
Young and talented Prosi Nabasumba is flying to Marbella, Spain to attend the festival where the film will be launched. All expenses covered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
I just can't believe that I'm the one going back to Europe. This will be my second trip and I'm very, very excited.
The Ugandan film industry, often called Ugawood, is growing, with about 200 local films made each year. This sector provides jobs for around 5,000 people directly and about 10,000 people indirectly.
But I think once you listen to the story, you'll see why it's important for us to create for ourselves and carve out that niche, because it's those, typical Ugandan stories that will enhance our sector.
I think here the catchword. We want this young person to inspire all these other young people that when you do good, when you are excellent, then there are always people out there who can support you.
Additionally, Rotary District 9213's Basic Education and Literacy Enhancement Program aims to improve education for underprivileged youth.
We intervene where the need is most. So we don't have a straitjacket intervention. We do it on a case by case, and we use our clubs that are spread across the entire country.
As the Marbella International Film Festival approaches this October, excitement builds not only for the film's premiere, but also for the opportunities it brings to uplift Uganda's local talent on a global stage. Wadulo Mark-Arnold and Mary Namukose for UBC News.
The 9th season of the much-acclaimed Chapa League has climaxed with aplomb as Chogum FC claimed the Bulls tournament while Rizi won the league.
The Chapa League, which is Ambara High School all-boys social engagement, has climaxed its 9th season. This Chapa League, that is sponsored by Uganda Breweries through its Guinness brand, is a contest of Ambara High School students in their respective years of study.
Chapa League is played by Barara High School All Boys Association. It's one of the many all boys leagues Brand Guinness is sponsoring. You may ask why Brand Guinness. Brand Guinness is Uganda's #1 sponsor and supporter of Ugandan football, local sports.
This year's edition attracted 26 teams and has climaxed at the National Enterprises Corporation ground in Bogolobi with the class of 2015 Rizi FC crowned Football League champions.
This season 9 started way back in February of this year, and the league has grown. 26 teams, over 500 people turning out every weekend to play over 21 outings. So great.
A total of 300 medals were handed out to players, coaches and contributors at this Guinness Lit occasion, at which revelers were reminded about the brand's involvement with the English Premier League.
This year, Diageo Uganda partnered, that is Guinness Uganda, partnered with the English Premier League to be the official beer sponsor for the English Premier League. Here in Uganda, we are also delighted to announce that one of the few lucky Guinness sports fans will be selected for an all expense trip to the UK to watch their favorite team play live.
The league's climax day also featured the Bulls tournament, starting with the quarterfinals and ended with Chogum FC, which is the class of 2003 crowned champions.
Uganda Futsal Championship Park FC resumed training this afternoon at the First Sports Fusion in Bugolobi. The team are in pre-season mood as they have begun preparations for the upcoming 2024-25 Uganda Futsal League that is set to begin this November. The Rangers won the treble in the first division, winning the league, the Uganda Cup and the Super Cup. They were unbeaten in all three fronts and will be aiming at continuing with their dominance with their Uganda Cup campaign starting in a fortnight.
wonderful and talented players. I hope I can be able to live up to my expectations, and I hope we can challenge for all the titles that Park FC won last season. So I'm here to help them achieve what they already did in history, and I hope I'm able to achieve it with Park FC this season. My ambition is La Liga to really do well, and hopefully I can claim an accolade by helping my teammates on the pitch.
That is all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Micheal Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakon and the whole team. Wish you the best of the night. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
In a world where every day is a battle for survival, one man endures grueling hardships just to make a living.
Yes, sir.
In Olwatuka, witness a heart-pounding journey of love. Pain, acrimony, and justification that the line between right and wrong has never been so thin.
Maybe I need to remind him who I am. So, you killed my wife.
Olwatuka film premiere will be on the 3rd of December 2024 at Uganda National Theatre, sponsored by
Max Media Promotion presents Omukwano Chechi Concert, taking place on the 27th of September 2024 at Tavern Woods, Kabusu. There will be exciting performances from Message Semakula, Jovre Lutaya, Winnie Nwaji, Kabuya Semboga, Queen Florence, and Olisha M. Entrance is only 20k ordinary, 50k VIP, and a table at 500,000. For bookings, call 0759 677 502 or 0785 310 388. Come ready to dance the night away from 7 p.m. till late. Sponsored by UBC, Success Motors, Kampala City Grammar, and KT Sounds. In a world that never stops, find your balance, your beauty, your radiance. Welcome to Dr. Beauty, the show where beauty is more than skin deep. Join us as we explore the secrets to glowing skin, healthy hair, and the perfect self-care routines. From expert tips on skincare to makeup magic and everything in between. Dr. Beauty will unlock the code and show you how to embrace the beauty that's uniquely yours. Dr. Beauty, only on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters.